Hey everybody, what's going on,
Hello.
leaders? How y'all doing tonight?
We
Doing
are
great.
good. How are
For
you?
you.
I am good. I am good. I want to welcome everyone to the very first episode of the Collaborative Lens, where we have conversation to help our educational leaders in the K 12 area of education. Because, we talk about education that can be, of course, broad, but we want to make sure that we are paying very close attention to those leaders who are in the K 12 space because we all have experience in that area. And
Yes.
so I am, again, once again, I'm Chantal Langston, and I focus on the human centered part of leadership. And so before we get started, we're all going to go around and introduce ourselves before we get started with self regulation in leadership. So take it away, Dr. Angela.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Angela Taylor Echols, and I'm the founder of ATE Educational Consulting. Our mission is to provide disruptive strategies to school leaders to stop the great resignation of teachers, because we know right now in our nation there's a problem with teacher retention. So we provide disruptive strategies to help teachers want to stay in the field.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Cassandra Jenkins, the founder of Little Comes Much Education Consulting. And my focus is to support school leaders in systems, processes, and procedures to prevent frustration and to make sure that they lead with confidence and integrity.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, like I said, I focus on human centered leadership where I help leaders understand how to regulate themselves before making a conscious decision. So, with that being said, I want to go right into our opening study. So, according to the recent RAND survey, more than half of teachers report experience on burnout, and many continue to consider leaving the profession. Okay, so I have 10 years of experience being in the field. I had plenty of days where I wanted to hang it up. Okay, at the same time, research continues to highlight growing concerns around principal burnout and leadership turnover. The reality is that stress isn't just affecting teachers, it's also affecting the people leading our schools as well. And I just came from a very stressful school year in helping my leaders. Okay. So when stress goes unmanaged, it doesn't stay contained within the leader. It shows up in staff meetings, it shows up in difficult conversations, and it shows up in decision making, and it also shows up in the school culture.
That's
So, in today's conversation, it isn't about stress management. It's not that, okay? It's about self regulation because I've said this before, even to my leaders, that yes, you're going to have stressors, but it shouldn't be stressors that's going to cause you to want to quit. You should be able to self regulate and maintain even with the stress. Okay, because it shouldn't get to the point where it's attacking your health. So the leadership skill that determines whether pressure creates stability or chaos is in how we self-regulate. So
Right.
here's our scenario that we're going to go into. So, all right, no one likes Mondays, right? Because I know I don't like Mondays.
mm-hmm.
you know,
That's right.
it's like Sunday morning. Yeah. Well, but Monday is not. Okay. So a principal walks into a staff meeting already frustrated. The district has just released another mandate. Parent complaints are piling up. Teachers are teachers teacher absences are high. So during the meeting, a veteran teacher raises a concern about implementation. So instead of listening, the principal immediately becomes defensive and responds with irritation. The meeting ends, the principal moves on with the day, but the staff doesn't. So teachers
Right.
leave feeling dismissed. Conversations begin in the hallways. You guys know gossip, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trust
absolutely.
takes a hit,
Mhm.
morale drops. Nobody remembers the agenda, but everyone remembers the leader's tone. So my question is, Was the real issue the leader's inability to regulate their emotions in this high pressure moment?
Absolutely, it was.
It was.
The issue was not that there were initiatives or that there were new things that they had to do in the school. The issue was that the leader responded in a hostile way. And so, even though the staff was talking about the initiative, they forgot that completely. The only thing they remember is the leadership's reaction. And as a leader, we need to take a moment and pause because we have a lot coming at us as leaders, but we need to self regulate. Take a moment because our staff responds how we respond. If we're upset about something and it comes across, the staff will respond the same way. So they didn't even see what the administrator said. All they saw was the reaction.
Absolutely. I totally agree. The system is influenced by the person that's leading it. And if the person that's leading the system is not controlled and has the ability to regulate his or her emotions, then it causes frustration, it causes confusion, and it's difficult for people to follow. So, definitely, the principal's response was what was in the forefront versus what the actual expectation and situation was. And so that's why we have to self regulate. We're always on. Our staff is always looking to us for how to react to a certain situation. So we as leaders have to be mindful of that at all times.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
And,
so being in education as a teacher, I know that students are coming in with all kind of traumas in the morning. And I tell
Absolutely.
parents, and it's so funny, I told parents this when I had my Instagram account open, I will tell them that don't argue with your kids in the morning because they're bringing that into the classroom. And
yes.
parents have no idea
Right.
that the kids
Mhm.
are not regulated enough or mature enough emotionally, right, to
Right.
come into another environment and
Mhm.
get it together. They don't know that because they're still developing, right?
Right.
But guess
Right.
what? We all are still developing. So even when it comes to our emotions, we have to be mindful of, okay, I'm leading, they're watching me. I gotta make sure that I'm good enough, I'm well enough to deal with this, put whatever I have in my mind on the shelf for this moment, for this meeting, so that I can
Mhm.
get these initiatives out and that these tasks are done. And then I can go ahead and move on with my day without disturbing the environment with my emotions.
Right.
But
Because
but it's
that
the
could have,
weight, it's
go
the
ahead.
weight of the responsibility though.
Mhm.
It's making sure that leaders are aware of that weight because the weight is that I have to be aware that it's my responsibility to show up in a certain way. And once I understand that as a leader, then it helps me to compartmentalize my personal emotions, my staff's personal emotions, my students'
Mhm.
personal emotions, and all of those things a leader is expected to manage. Just like a teacher is expected to manage all 25 of the emotions in their room while managing their own
Yeah.
and completing the task of educating students. So,
Yeah.
as the leader, we're the teacher of the teachers.
Hmm.
So, we're supposed to be showing up and making sure that we are regulating our own emotions. And that's not always an easy thing to do, but awareness is definitely the first step.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I want to piggyback on what you said, Cassandra. I want to go back to the scenario. So if the principal had responded differently, instead of taking offense to the question of how can we manage this initiative, if the administrator had said something like, you know what, I know this is a lot, it's challenging, but we are going to work through this together. Do you imagine
Absolutely.
the impact that would have on the staff? Now we're
Absolutely.
working together. I'm not putting a new initiative on you. We are a
Absolutely.
community, we have a relationship, we're a school, we're family. So even though another mandate has come down from central
Mhm.
office, we're
Exactly.
going to figure out as a staff how to work through this together. And I understand your frustration. I understand that it's
Exactly.
something that is another thing on your plate and
Mhm.
something hasn't been taken off. But let's figure out how we're going to work through this together. The reaction would have been completely different. The conversation in the hall wouldn't not have been, here she is.
Exactly.
She responded negatively. The
Mhm.
conversation in the hall would have been, I love my principal.
Mhm.
My principal understands us. My principal has
Exactly.
not forgotten what it means to be a teacher.
There you
So the
go.
conversation would have been completely different.
And it would have opened the door to strategize with your staff rather than setting up us against them
Yeah,
mentality. Because when you strategize with your staff, then you open the door, you give them a voice
yeah,
to participate in how we accomplish this goal versus making it a mandate and saying, oh, well, the district say you got to do it, so you got to do it. There's a way to approach that so that people feel like they bring value and they contribute meaning to what is happening.
Yes, this is so rich
yes,
already, and we haven't
yes.
even got into the context.
I know, right?
Listen, dude, we can stay here all day. And I
Yeah.
just want to say, hey to Gabby, if you have questions or if you have comments you want to add to the conversation, some wisdom, drop it in the comment section. We are seeing the comments as we move on with the segment. So with all of that being said, we had to talk about how to become self-regulated as leaders, okay, or humans, because your title is not you. Okay, leadership start from
Exactly.
within.
Yes,
Exactly.
Period. I tell
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
that all the time. Your title is just a title, but you as an individual it's important for you to understand what leadership is from the inside.
exactly.
Okay.
Right.
So what does regulation or self-regulation mean for leaders? So first of all, self-regulation is the ability to manage emotions before they manage you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say that one more
absolutely.
time.
Mhm.
Self regulation is the ability to manage emotions before they manage you, being in
Right.
control of what only you can be in control of. And
Mhm.
that's what has gotten me by in being
Mhm.
in this space. Because even my leaders have asked me, "You're so calm." Teachers have asked me, "Oh my gosh, how are you able to get through X, Y, and Z?" Because I only manage what's in my control in the moment.
Yeah,
So true. So true.
Going back
yeah,
to that scenario, the
Mhm.
mandates, can I control that? No, I can
Mhm.
only manage what I can control. And so, whatever that mandate is, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to breathe first
Exactly.
yeah,
so I
Mhm.
can get the wisdom on how to navigate through that
Mhm.
new mandate.
That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
You want to
And
add
self,
to that?
yeah, go ahead. Self-regulation also creates psychological safety.
Yes.
When an
Mhm.
administrator responds calmly, then it
Mhm.
calms everyone else in the environment. But
Mhm.
when the administrator responds like the one in that scenario, it creates anxiety
It
and it
does.
makes teachers close down and
Mhm.
refuse to share with their administrator because now I don't feel safe. I don't
Exactly.
feel protected. I
Mhm.
don't feel that you're going to cover me if something happens. So it
Mhm.
creates psychological safety when an administrator self regulates.
Yes.
Cassandra?
Also, when an administrator has the ability to self-regulate, I go back to awareness. You might have to self-regulate in all different parts of your campus. So it's important for you to recognize when you need to pause, but also you might need to identify a pause location
Mhm.
on your campus where you just take it might be in a closet or in a office that nobody uses or in a restroom, but to take a minute and breathe and pause and ask yourself the important questions. What is it that I need to focus on? How do I need to regulate my emotions in order to respond? Everything does not need an immediate response.
Mhm.
So you as the leader can give yourself time to process so that when you respond it's with intelligence and it's with your own clarity so that people are not lost or feeling insecure. or unsafe, as Angela said.
That's good.
Yes, and I want to add to that. Oftentimes, leaders feel like they have to know it all.
You
You do
don't.
not. You do
You
not
never
have to know it
will.
all.
Yeah.
You never will know it all.
No, you are a forever learner. This whole everybody on this planet is a forever learner.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
And I
just
want
happens to have a title, and with
Mhm.
the title, you are still navigating. How do I live up to it?
Yes.
Yes.
That's good.
Go
I
ahead,
want
Doctor.
to comment on what both of you said.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
Cassandra, you said the power of the pause and
Yeah.
creating a space somewhere where you can pause. I
Mhm.
remember when I was a principal, sometimes I
Yes.
would go in my office,
Yes.
close the door, close
Yes.
the blinds, and cut the lights out because
Yes.
then I can pause and I could center
Mhm.
myself before responding.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
that is really good. And,
Yeah.
I'm going to stop there and I'll continue on later,
Yeah.
but the power
Yeah.
of the pause is so important.
It is.
Let me see, Robbie. I'm sorry, I'm going to show you what Robbie said. That that is a skill that takes time to develop. Leaders have to be mature enough to ask for assistance until they develop self-regulation. Um,
So true.
Oh, yeah.
yes,
So true.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
that
true.
is so true.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I tell students this: smart students ask questions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I
And
Mhm.
just
that,
told
yeah.
my I just told my students, like, whatever you do, bombard your teachers next year.
Yeah.
Ask
Exactly.
questions
That's
because that's going to help them hold themselves accountable into being a better teacher, and to answer you. And not only that, it will show them that you care about your education going forward.
Yeah.
So that's what I do with my
yes.
students. And so on a
Mhm.
leadership level, I would say that it is important that you take a time to just pause for a moment.
Mhm.
And I just shared this too last week at an event I was speaking at, that it's easier said than done, but we're overstimulated as people, number one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because we're
Mhm.
overstimulated, it's hard to just sit still.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like Robbie said,
Which is what.
you have
Right.
to practice
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And practice don't make perfect, but it does make progression.
It
Uh,
does.
And
yes.
also
Yeah, go ahead.
piggybacking on what Robbie said, thank you for that comment, Robbie, is the fact that leaders need to be aware that this is a skill I need to build.
Come
Mhm.
on.
So I need to seek podcasts like this. I
Yeah.
need to seek articles or
Mhm.
strategies that I can use. If you're not aware that there's a need, then yeah, it's easier said than done. But once you know better, you can do better.
Oh, yes. We must be intentional. I see another comment. We must be
You must be
intentional with
intentional with
reflection.
reflection.
Period.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Please,
Yeah.
and thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And Shantanique, I want to go back to the other comment that I wanted to make about when you're a new principal in particular. I remember being a new principal and you feel like you should know it all.
Mhm.
It is okay
Oh, yeah.
not to know it all. But what we
Mhm.
can do is seek a mentor. We can
Oh, yeah.
seek someone who has more
Yes.
experience than us. Because
Yes.
Yes.
if you try to operate under the lens of knowing it all, you will drown.
You
So
will.
we have to learn how to reach out to those who have gone before us and get a
Mhm.
mentor and get some support when you're a new administrator,
Exactly.
Yes.
And
or you will
and
burn out just
even
like the teachers.
And even that's what I was about to say, Angela, even when you become a veteran, you
Mhm.
still need mentors.
Yeah.
You still
Come on.
need people that you can reflect with. You need
Mhm.
people that you can bounce ideas off of, that you know are experiencing the same kinds of things that you are experiencing
Yeah.
as a leader. So we need community. And oftentimes the leader is isolated because they're expected to have all the answers. And personally, they may feel like I have to have all the answers, but
Mhm.
it's okay in understanding, no, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't have all the answers. You don't have to have all the answers. And you can build community and get the answers or work towards the answers that you need, or like Robert said, the development that you need.
Come on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because as teachers, you have community when you're a teacher. and you become an administrator, it can be a very lonely place. So you have to seek community with other administrators. And then you realize I'm not the only person going through this.
Exactly.
So then you build solutions with your community of administrators. It's very
Yes.
important to build that community.
So
Ooh,
true.
we
So
going
true.
deep because we
So
can go
true.
deep with that because I have some
Oh, true.
stories. But
Yes.
I won't go into that.
Oh, yes.
I know we all do. I know we all have stories.
Because you got to learn how to trust your leaders that
Yes.
you have put in place, and you don't and take some stuff off of your plate. But I don't want to go into that.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole nother podcast. And
Whole podcast.
That is.
Yes.
That is. That is.
I mean, listen, we've been preaching. Y'all in the comments been preaching too, okay? Because one of the other things I was going to say was that self-regulation is not suppressing emotions.
It's not.
Okay. It really is. It's responding intentionally rather than reacting impulsively.
Exactly.
Because we all know leaders who have acted impulsively. We just read a scenario.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
That's a whole. Yeah. I don't want to. Let's move on. So leadership isn't tested when everything is going well.
Yeah.
It's tested in moments of frustration, uncertainty, and pressure. So self-regulation is what keeps one difficult moment from becoming a cultural problem.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You want to add to that before we move into Cassandra's portion of the...
I'll just say something real quick. Self-regulation reduces emotional exhaustion.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is when you're thinking about managing your building, handling one situation after another, you can become emotionally exhausted as an administrator to the point where you can't function. But when you take the power of the pause, when you go somewhere and pause, when you build that community, then that emotional exhaustion can be eliminated.
Right. Yep. It can. It can. I would say the same thing. It reduces confusion and anxiety. And, basically everything Angela just said is dead on. When you can prevent stress through self-regulation, everything else flows so much better.
Yes.
And it strengthens your school culture when you self-regulate as well.
It does. It does.
So good. So now I want to move into the second lens. We're going to talk about systems and leadership when it comes to self-regulation. So Cassandra, or Dr. Cassandra, how does self-regulation impact leadership systems?
I think they complement each other. They reinforce each other, because when you have clear systems, processes, and procedures, then self-regulation is more manageable because there's less to be frustrated about. There's less for people to have concerns or questions or to move with uncertainty about. So I think there are three things. If there is stability in systems, if there is clarity in systems, and then consistency in systems. So the stability part or aspect of it is you have to eliminate the uncertainty for your people. You have to make sure that people are clear about what the expectations are and what the steps are to get them there. That's the first step to fostering retention, because when teachers are comfortable, they don't want to go anywhere because they understand that they're in an environment where they can depend on or rely on the leadership. So when leaders anticipate questions, when as a leader, you sit down and you think about what questions might my teachers have? How can I answer those questions even before we get started? How can I settle their anxiety? What can I take off their plate? What can the leadership team do in unison with them to make sure that they understand we're in this together? It breeds respect, because they're just not looking at a leader that's passing out expectations, or depending on the type of leader, barking out orders.
Yes.
They have
Come
somebody
on now.
working with them.
Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
So you all want to respond to that?
I will. Yeah, I was gonna read.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh,
Is it her say? I don't want to say no one's doing
and
wrong.
help make them feel like they are over prepared. I always say plan for the chaos. Always have a plan A, B, and C. Absolutely.
Yes.
That's so good.
Absolutely, Erica.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that comment because there will be hiccups and barriers that prevent you from getting where you need to be. So when you sit down and think through those questions and you say, okay, well, if this is the response, then this is what we'll do.
Mhm.
That's your A, B, and C because you're not just working towards the problem from one angle. You're strategizing from many different angles.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I want to comment on one thing you said is consult your leadership team.
Yes.
All
Mhm.
leaders need a team.
Yes.
You need an A team
Yes. Yes.
because as the administrator, we don't have all the answers. But when you get collective minds together, we will come up with a solution collectively. So always consult the leadership team.
It provides
Yes.
stability.
Oh yeah.
When everybody's speaking from the same sheet of music,
Mm-hmm.
when everybody's on the same page and the leadership team,
Yeah.
then the teacher can't go from my office to one of the assistant principal's offices and get different angles
Oh Lord.
because we have already strategized before it even gets to you.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Before it gets to the staff, your leadership team has to be on the same page, and that has to happen through intentional connection and
Mm-hmm.
intentional meetings. And nobody has time for it, but it's the thing that you have to do.
Absolutely. And the leadership team shouldn't just have a principal and assistant principal. We should include some teacher leaders. Let's get the teacher
Absolutely.
voice in there. Let's get the
Yes.
counselor in there. Let's get the social
Yes.
worker in there. Let's
Mhm.
get everyone because it's a
That's right.
community.
Yes. One man,
Cafeteria,
one sound.
custodial staff,
Yes.
that's the leadership team. Everybody on
Absolutely.
campus should be singing from the same sheet of music.
Oh, yes.
Yes, this is so good because I was just thinking about one band, one sound. And I said that last year, like we all should be on one accord. No one should even know who the principal is.
Oh, yes.
That's how
Exactly.
tight
Yes.
it
Exactly.
should be.
Yes. That
Exactly.
sounds like teaching. When you walk into a teacher's
Mhm.
classroom, you should not be able to find a teacher
That's
because
right.
your students are all over the place working.
Mhm.
Same for an
Mhm.
administrator. You walk into a building, you shouldn't really even know who the administrator is because the
Mhm.
culture and the climate is just that, it's running like a well-oiled machine.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yes, I want to speak.
But
Go
in the
ahead.
wrong environment, somebody will take that and misuse it and say, oh, they don't even know who the principal is.
Mhm.
Well, if the system is running so well that you can't recognize it, then that's a well-oiled machine.
That's a win.
Come on.
That's a win.
Huge win.
That's a
But
win.
depending on where you are and how it's perceived, it can be used in the wrong way.
Yes.
And that leads me to my next point, which is clarity
Come
in
on.
systems.
Mhm.
Because if you are not clear about where you want to go and what you need to see happen on your campus, if the leader isn't clear, then how can anybody else be?
Yeah. Gotta
So
be
it
clear.
takes sitting down, planning, thinking about how can I make this process clearer? What are the steps that it takes to make sure everybody is aware? Because it's one thing for a principal just to go to the staff and say, let's improve instruction.
Mhm.
But it's another when the principal goes to the staff and says, our goal is to improve instruction. This is how we will improve instruction. This is how we will measure our progress. And these are the supports that you're going to get from the administrative team.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a lot more clear than let's improve instruction.
Right.
So when you're clear, when the lead is clear about where we want to go, then it provides empathy for your staff. It lets them understand, like Angela said earlier, that you still know what it is to be a teacher and that you're in this with them. So that's my take on clarity. When steps are clear, processes are clear, when schedules are correct in the campus, when school calendars are laid out and not just thrown out without thought. All of those things impact clarity on your campus.
I want to add a little bit to that because as you guys know, I've done a lot of self-healing work. And so I would say one thing about self-regulation, when you become self-regulated, you will naturally do things, you will slow down, number one. And then number two, you will begin to operate simplistically, meaning that you're going to make your processes simple and more manageable. So whatever task you have, you might have a major task coming up, but you're gonna simplify that thing. We're gonna break it down into in order, A, B, C, D, right? But it's gonna be done in a way where you're slowing down and you're taking your time when you do it, because you want to make sure, like you just said, Dr. Cassandra, every schedule is in order. And I just got an award for being most organized at my school. Why? Because I slowed down. I had to put things in order because I want to have clarity in my classroom. You're going to naturally begin to become more clear on things because you are self-regulated. So that is a skill that you have to work on over time. And by the end of this segment, we're going to give you guys a tangible resource that you can and tool you can use. And we get off this podcast, so we're not just talking. You'll be able to implement as you go. Amen. Okay.
Amen. Let me just say something real quick before you go on. You made me think about something. We need to go slow to go fast.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
So take time.
It does.
Figure out the clarity. Go slow. Make sure it's clear, and then present it to the staff.
Yeah, because when you do that, you don't overcomplicate the process anymore.
Yes. And you thought about the things that they might ask questions or have questions about because you've been there. You've been a teacher. You understand what they may want to know. And my last point is consistency. When you're consistent, it protects the school community. It builds trust. The staff can trust you to do what you said you were going to do. And it reduces people feeling like, oh, she has a favorite. Or you hear the term often, oh, that's the principal's clique right there. Those are the people that she likes the most, or that's the person that she's going to cater to the most. When you have consistent systems, it doesn't matter who the person is, it's that we are following the expectations. It makes staff more comfortable, and they know that you can be trusted with whatever that consistent leadership decision is, no matter who it falls on or what person is based on.
That's good, Cassandra. That builds trust. When a leader is consistent and there are no cliques, then trust is built. And as a result, the culture and the community improves.
Yes.
That trust factor is important.
Yes, this is so rich. So I'm going to ask our last question. This part goes into our final lens, which is going to be retention and staff experience by Dr. Angela. How does leaders' ability to self-regulate influence teacher retention? Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
That's important. So I'm going to say this. After over 32 years in education, I've realized that it doesn't take one problem for a teacher to leave a school. It's something that happens over time.
Yes.
And so a school leader must create 4 things. The first one is psychological safety, which I mentioned earlier today. When leaders respond calmly and thoughtfully during challenges, teachers feel safe, sharing concerns, asking questions, and contributing ideas without fear of judgment. So I'm going back to what I said earlier. The first key to teacher retention is psychological safety.
Yes.
Do you all want to say anything about that?
I totally agree. It's when they're mentally comfortable to come to work and feel like they can work freely in their workspace, you get so much more production out of your staff. So I
Absolutely.
totally agree that they will not be looking to transfer to another school or another district because they're safe and they're comfortable and they feel like they can work within their own element in that environment.
That's true. Sometimes you wonder why one school has a revolving door of teachers and another school have teachers who never want to leave, teachers who are requesting to come to that school, but there are no openings. It's that psychological safety component.
Absolutely. And it's just, and the same is true for districts.
Yes.
Sometimes you wonder why there's a shift in who wants to continue to be here, but it is the psychological safety of your people.
Absolutely. And point number 2 is to build trust and credibility. That will help with teacher retention.
Yes.
When there is consistent emotional regulation, it helps teachers know what to expect from the leader. So that consistency, as you said, Cassandra,
yes,
and predictability. It fosters trust, and trust is a critical factor in an educational environment. So if there's trust and credibility, teachers will stay.
yes.
And the third point to teacher retention is reducing emotional exhaustion, like I said earlier today. Teachers already navigate significant daily stress. Leaders who manage their emotions effectively helps to create an environment that minimizes additional stress. So teachers are already stressed. So if the administrator comes in with more stress, now the teacher is overloaded. And so when the school leader is emotionally regulated, it helps to minimize the stress. And I'm giving you an example. COVID-19. Okay. We went one day from complete in-person instruction to complete virtual instruction.
That's right.
Now the administrator could have done one of two things.
Yeah.
The administrator could have been totally stressed, or the administrator could have come to the staff and said, okay, we have a situation. We are going to work through this together. And that is what I saw during COVID. You know, just administrators coming together, working together, solving that problem. And as a result, schools were able to get through that situation. Schools that had administrators that were just like, you know, just emotionally not handling COVID. We saw that in the result of the school. So just reducing that emotional exhaustion is the third way to retain teachers. And the fourth way is to strengthen your school culture through connections. Let's build relationships.
Yes.
Let's get to know our teachers. Sometimes teachers complain that the only time they see their administrator is when it's time for an evaluation.
Yes. Yes.
So there is no connection.
Right.
Let's build relationships. Let's walk around and say good morning to our teachers. Let's see how they're doing. If we notice they're not doing well, let's double back and see and ask if we can help. So when there's a relationship and our teachers know that we care, that will keep retention in place.
So true.
So sidebar.
Shantanique.
Oh no, this is so good. Now, I'm not gonna add that. This is so rich, but I will say this is so funny. What I constantly hear, and I've been at several schools, the kids and the parents don't know who the principal is.
Yes.
That's a problem. That is a major problem. And
Right.
so that goes back to that self-reflection. How am I showing up as the leader, the principal in my building?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I don't want to go into our next segment. I don't want to go into that part, but I want you to just think about how am I showing up currently? Go
Mhm.
ahead, Dr. Sandra. Cassandra, you're talking. Go ahead.
You're right that it is a problem if the principal can't be identified based on the fact that there is no presence from the principal. That's
Mhm.
very different than what we talked about in the last segment, where there's a well-oiled machine and you can't identify who the principal is. There's two totally different
Yeah.
approaches, because if you're not present for your staff, or you're not present in school events or activities,
Mhm.
that carries a message
It does.
to your staff. And yes, there's a lot to do. Yes, there's a lot on your plate. And no, you can't make everything, but you can make an asserted effort to make most things, so that people see you engaged and encouraged and wanting the school to be successful.
Yeah, and that second scenario, it makes a statement to the community as well
It does.
when
It
they
does.
see that the administrator is
Mhm.
present at after school
Mhm.
events, at
Yes.
community events.
Mhm.
Now they see that we have an administrator who is invested in our community, not someone who is just coming to the school to get a paycheck and leave. They're
Right.
invested.
Right. Right.
This is so good. I thank you all for still staying with us. So a lot of you on tonight, and again, feel free to make comments or questions you may have in
Mhm.
the chat. And we don't have much longer to be on the segment, but
Yeah.
feel free to do so. So now we've all come to this part of the segment where I'm going to give you a tangible tool that you can use when it comes to reading a difficult email or sending one. Okay.
Mhm.
Concerns, complaint, or conflict. So this is called the 90-second pause. Again, it's called the 90-second pause. And so before, again, you open up that email or send one or have a difficult conversation, meet with parents or complaints and all that, I want you to ask yourself these three questions. Number one, what am I feeling right now? Number two, what is triggering this response?
Mhm.
I know that's hard right there.
Mhm.
And then number three, what outcome do I want from this conversation?
Right.
So for each question, I want you to wait 90 seconds before you respond
Mhm.
to yourself.
Mhm.
And what that does is it frees you up from doing anything impulsively, emotionally, because everything that we do when we are self-regulated, it doesn't come from an emotional place. It comes from a sound place now. I'm using wisdom in
Yes.
how I'm going to
Mhm.
respond to this conflict. I'm able to
Yes.
have difficult conversation where the other person will be able to digest what we're going to talk about because I
Yes.
took a moment to pause.
Mhm.
So true.
Okay. Remember that self-regulation isn't about having fewer emotions. It's about creating enough space between the emotion and the response so that your leadership remains aligned with your values. Okay. So again, this is a practical tool that you can use immediately, right now.
Yeah.
You can get
Mhm.
off this call, this Zoom call with us.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
So before we leave, I do have a reflection leadership question. We'll always give you guys a reflection leadership question at the end of our segment. So here we go. Here we go. Think about the last time you were frustrated, overwhelmed, or challenged as a leader. Okay. What do people remember most about that moment? Your decision or your emotional response?
Mhm.
That's good.
That's good. That's
Sit with
good.
that. It's okay.
That's
I'm
good.
holding your hand. It's okay. I'm
That's
holding
Yes.
your hand.
that's
Fist
good.
bump. Okay, look. That was loaded. I was like, I'm gonna
Yeah,
ask that
that's
question.
loaded.
I gotta
It
ask
is.
you that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
It's okay to sit in that. I don't know why we come away from feeling. No, you need to sit in that
Yeah.
and own it. It's okay. I tell my students to own their emotions. Why won't I let you do that?
Yeah.
Give you that same grace
Yeah.
and not judge you. Because one thing I'm not going to do is judge leaders because we're all human.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely.
It's called self-reflection, Shantanique. We have to be able to reflect. If we make a decision that we know wasn't the best decision, it's okay to sit in it and to self-reflect. And I just wanted to say that self-regulation is not just a leadership skill. It is a teacher retention strategy and a leadership development strategy.
It is. It is.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yes.
totally agree. I just think that I love what you said, Shantanique, about the space between the emotion and the response.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to give yourself space to be angry for the moment,
Yes.
to be sad for the moment, or even sometimes to be happy for the moment and then respond. That's why the pause is so important.
Mm-hmm.
That's why being a calm leader, it contributes so much to the well the not well but the smooth operation of your
Mm-hmm.
campus.
Yeah.
Yes, this is so good, and I want you guys to remember because while staff may forget what we say, they rarely forget how we make them feel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yes, that's staff, students, and everybody. Yeah.
Yes, just like we've always heard the saying, like you may not remember what I
Yes.
look like, but you're gonna remember what I said to you,
But I said
how I made
exactly.
you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, same difference. We'll say
Yes.
same
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When we make teachers feel empowered and appreciated, it goes a long way.
It does.
They're even willing to support you when you're unsure about something
Oh yeah.
because they know that you value and support them.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
So
And
true.
so today we explore self-regulation through three different lenses. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
emotional intelligence, leadership systems, and staff retention.
Yeah.
So we discussed how leadership tone can shape the culture, influence trust, impact, rather than people choose to stay engaged or check out. So this week's leadership move is simple. What is our strategy? The 90-second
90-second
pause
pause.
before we have to respond to anything that is outside of our control.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I want to challenge my leaders to do that with your personal life. Because I tell leaders this too. Whatever you do in your personal life, it does seep through your professional life.
Mm-hmm.
It
Rather you want
does.
to believe it or not, it's true. So
Yeah.
It's
I want to challenge you to do that in your personal life too. Use that 90-second pause. I do all
that's
the
right.
time when it comes to dealing with my brother. I'm a twin, you
Mhm.
all. So I have to be okay. How I'm going to respond. I don't want to try to trigger him.
Yes.
Being
Mhm.
self-aware allows you to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
think about
Mhm.
that. So, and our reflection question again remains: what do people remember most about your leadership, the decision, or the emotional response behind it? So I
Yes.
want you to remember that this week. Make sure you guys, if you know any leaders out there who may be going through this challenge with their staff and they're looking for ways to be self-regulated so they're able to handle difficult conversations, excuse me, in situations, make sure you guys share this podcast and also subscribe to the podcast, okay? I
Yeah.
want you guys
Yes.
to
Come
be here,
on, like and
Please
subscribe.
like, subscribe.
Yes.
And be sure to join us in 2 weeks for our next episode as we continue the self regulation series. And we're talking about emotional safety. And the title is Are You a Safe Space for Your Staff? Don't think about that right now. We'll get to that mountain when we get there.
Mhm. Yes.
And I want you
That's
all to,
right. That's right.
yes, I want you all to
That's in a
remember,
few weeks.
yes, in a few weeks. So that will be on Tuesday, June 30th at 6 p.m. Eastern
Mm-hmm.
Standard
In
Time.
2 weeks.
That's in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yes.
So, so until
Mhm.
next time, you guys, remember that
Yeah.
awareness changes the way we lead. Again, I'm Chantamike Langston. I operate in the human-centered leadership space. And Dr.
I'm
Angela.
Dr. Angela Taylor Echols, and I operate in the teacher retention space.
And I'm Dr. Cassandra H. Jenkins, and I operate in the school systems space.
And we are the Collaborative Lens. Thank you again for watching and tuning in, and we will see you all in our next episode. You're having a wonderful night.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.